Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to OKKO Let's Be Heroes, Season 2, Episodes 21 and on. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to do today. I'm going to do it until basically I determine that's a good stopping point. So if it only ends up being 2 or 3, maybe 4, we'll see. I don't know. But last time we had the Point Prep saga. And it was really good. It was a really good saga. It developed a lot of things for Enid and reunited her with Elodie and made Elodie her friend again. But it also revealed a lot of things about Point, and specifically the fact that Foxtail is secretly kind of pulling the strings to make it a very tyrannical place. To the point where even Mr. Grayman, one of the teachers and leaders there, was kind of booted out at the end, although he did go willingly. So it's like, and Chip Damage himself, Kurt Angle, was a robot as well, so that's fun. Initially for good, thanks to Dr. Grayman, but used for evil by Foxtail. Yeah. So I wonder how long it'll take to actually come back to this stuff. Because I'm sure with these episodes, it's like, it's going to take some time before coming back to the entire Point thing. Just due to how long of a saga this was. 5 episodes. So yeah. And then we also have to talk about the episodes themselves. So here's the deal with that. The episode order on the site I used for this season, and seemingly season 1 as well, at least at some point, was wrong. It seemed to be in the airing order, which was not the actual intended order of the episodes. And that's clear because the final episode of the Point Prep saga aired well after the 4th episode of it, episode 19, and they weren't even like in the right order in the first. The episodes were in the right order, but like they weren't even at the right spot in the season, and like there were episodes between the 4th and 5th episode of the Point Prep saga, and it's like just like, I don't know like what Cartoon Network was smoking when they decided to air these episodes out of order and everything, and in all kinds of weird orders. But it's not even just the Point Prep saga. Apparently, pretty much the entire season was aired wrong. So I had to look up the actual intended order and put the episodes into order based on that. So I downloaded every episode of the season that's left, and I put them all into their actual order. So we will be reacting to the rest of this in intended order, not in the order that it's on Kim Cartoon, but in the order that it was intended by Ian and the rest of the team. So keep that in mind. Now, there were also some episodes that were in this season, but for some fucking reason were put into the season 1 files on Kim Cartoon. So when I reacted to season 1, I reacted to those episodes. So those episodes just won't be counted towards all of this, and that's why I put up a video saying like, oh, where are episodes God, what were the numbers? 14 and 15, I think. Yeah, 14 and 15. Why aren't they on the playlist and everything? I put up the video explaining, like, oh, well, all of the stuff I'm explaining now, basically, with the episode counts and with those being, for some reason, put into season 1 in the air date. And, like, I don't even know how they pulled that one off. Like, that seems like a lot to put those into season 1 when they were for the future season. I don't know. Hopefully season 3 is better, though. I am excited to see more of this, though. It's just a fun series. Even when there's not like an ongoing story with a bunch of episodes like we had with the Point Prep saga, even the episodic stuff can be just very fun. And things can change. There are genuine changes that can happen based on various things, such as the fact that Lord Boxman is not in charge of Boxmore at the moment. It's Lord Cowboy Darrell. He's in charge, and that's continued to be a thing. And I assume that Boxman will eventually regain control, but still, the fact that that's continued to be a thing for so long now, it's surprising, but in a good way. And I'm just excited. I'm just genuinely excited to see where this goes. So we're just going to get this going and hope for the best with some more episodes. Like I said, I don't know how many we're going to react to today, but we'll kind of take it as we go. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, like I said in the reaction, I probably had seen the title of that. In fact, it's pretty much guaranteed I did when I was putting the episodes in order, but I think maybe because I was more focused on getting the episodes in order, I wasn't really paying attention to what the episode titles were. You know what I mean? It's like I saw them, I acknowledged them to put them in the right order, but I didn't actually pay attention to what they were, because my thoughts were entirely on getting the episodes right. So, and plus I forgot, like I don't remember which episodes are which. I didn't label them that way in my download folder. So it's like, I didn't remember that like this was coming here. And again, since I didn't even seemingly register it in the first place, I still thought that this was like in season 3. But either way, this was an interesting set of episodes. Trying to remember the entire order. Because it's like, we got to 4 episodes here, and unlike last time, they were all disconnected. Here, I actually have the list up still. Okay, so Soda Genie. Soda Genie was the first one. Soda Genie was pretty interesting. It was a genie story, basically. If you've seen any kind of genie story, whether it be Aladdin or anything else, you've seen this kind of thing. KO and Enid and Rad find this soda, this orange soda in the storeroom while they're cleaning, and they accidentally unleash a soda genie named Twisty. Because it's a genie, Twisty takes the wishes out of context and is purposely doing so because out of revenge for trying to, or for being left back there past sell-by date or whatever, for so long. And because KO wants to give Rad a burger, he wishes, make Rad a burger, which, yeah, we know where that would go. Because of Rad being turned into a burger, Enid decides to take Twisty to court. There's this entire Ace Attorney style court scene where in the end it's basically just randomly chosen that Twisty ends up being guilty. KO decides to free her, and it just kind of ends without really the actual issue of Rad being turned into a burger being resolved. He's still a burger, but that's not going to actually be covered at all. It's just not going to be relevant. It's like the same thing when like Rad and Enid turned into like were animals and all. It's not going to be actually resolved at all. They're just going to be back to normal. Episode 22 was Carol Quest. This one had some good lore to it. With Carol being part of Point, as well as Miss Mummy and the other one, whose name I don't remember, who I think is the first time we saw them. But anyways, Carol ends up being called away for a mission after failing to find a babysitter for KO, because Punching Judy apparently had something already going on. So they go on this secret mission, and Carol starts finding out that KO knows a lot more about these secret places than she realized. They end up going to the Glorb Tree. They have to, with the help from the other heroes, end up fighting this robotic monster that's there trying to steal the Glorbs. And they manage to do so. They manage to win the day, and Carol does reveal a lot to KO. And basically, there's just kind of stuff we already figured and knew. Carol being a part of Point and having to go on these secret missions to protect things, the reason why all the villains want the Glorbs and everything. It's stuff we really kind of already knew. But it was a good episode nonetheless, and it's always great to see Carol have a starring role in an episode, so I can't complain. Then we had 23, Boxman Crashes. So this one features almost entirely just Professor Venomous and Boxman as the lead characters, with Fink as a supporting role and the Bodega trio as just kind of minor characters near the end. So Venomous is bored. He's doing his villain stuff, but it's not really doing anything for him. And one day he manages to somehow find Boxman in his trash. He ends up letting Boxman stay, but, it's Boxman, so he gets on his nerves. They eventually decide to go to the plaza, though, after Boxman shows that he built Fink a three-wheeled, super beefed-up motorcycle, basically. And they go out to, try to take over the plaza. Typical villain shit for this series. And they fail, but Professor Venomous finds that he really loved the exhilarating thrill of participating in villainy rather than just, facilitating it through his evil deeds. He likes getting his hands dirty, as he put it. And so, using all this money that he's gotten from, like, the Congresswoman and everything, he helps Boxman buy back Boxmore, and they become partners. So, one, I already knew that fans shipped these two, and I think this episode is one of the biggest reasons why. I don't know if it was intentional by Ian and the crew and the writers and everything, but it can't just be a mistake, because there is so much subtext in this episode, so much little hints with the way they act and talk and everything, and just even the words used. It's like they're basically saying that they're gay without actually saying that they're gay for each other. It feels so blatant, but they're not actually saying it because, I don't know, maybe they weren't allowed for some reason. But it's just like, I think it seems very obvious to me. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just seeing things because, I want to see queer representation in media, but yeah, it felt very obvious. But yeah, apparently now Boxman is back in charge. Lord Cowboy Darrell is no longer the leader of Boxmore. And Boxman is sharing this with Venomous. They are together in this regard. They are partners. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works. Venomous's more competent villainy combined with Boxman's genuinely competent robotic skills, surprisingly competent robotic skills, that could be a recipe for a good villain rise up for them. We'll see how that goes though. But yeah, it's very interesting, and again, I kind of do ship them as well myself now. It's just like I think it's just pretty obvious. Like just the dynamic in this episode made it feel like, oh yeah, they're like them and their chaotic little kid Fink. It's like, oh god, it's like it's you kidding me? How can anyone not see that? But yeah, I had fun with that episode, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. And then we, of course, had the crossover Nexus. So like I said, I knew this episode was a thing. It was advertised everywhere when it came out. But again, because of the reasons I mentioned, I just didn't expect it yet. So basically, this villain named Strike summons all these different heroes from different worlds into kind of a generic city and starts taking their powers. KO manages to get help from Garnet, Ben Tennyson, and Raven to fight him and rescue everyone, get all their powers back, save the day. It's a very simple story, and it's clearly just meant to, show off the different characters. Like even beyond just our main team, there's a bunch of characters in the background, and you see here and there throughout the episode. You see like I Am Weasel, and I think it's Yumi, because I think Ami's the pink-haired one. Yumi from Hi Hi Puffy Ami Yumi. And just a shit ton of characters from a shit ton of different Cartoon Network shows throughout the years, and it's like there's a lot of references in there that I obviously didn't know or see all of them. But I'm looking actually at the list here, and it actually tells you like what some of the voices are. So let me see. I Am Weasel was the same voice as Strike, so okay, that explains who Strike's voice was, Michael Dorn. And John DiMaggio was Four Arms. I don't know if he was Four Arms in the original series. I'm just not sure. It's been a long time since I've seen the original series before, it got rebooted and everything. So I'm just not sure. And it's interesting, too, that two of the main four characters in this were both voiced by Tara Strong. It's like, yeah, she's getting a good paycheck for this episode. And obviously, let's talk about the big elephant in the room with this being the Raven from Teen Titans Go. You guys know that I hate Teen Titans Go. Specifically because of the tone and comedy that it features, and the fact that the writers and creators openly mock all the original Teen Titans fans who have, called the series out for being bad. And the thing is, I'm okay with it here. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm okay with it here because it does more fit the tone of OKKO. Within the context of this being the series that the crossover Nexus is happening in, it does fit the tone. And so I can be more okay with it than if it were like if the crossover Nexus were an episode of Steven Universe. If that were the case, I probably wouldn't be okay with it. And again, really the only issue would be specifically with Raven. But she wasn't even that bad in this episode comparatively. She could have been a lot worse. I don't know a lot about the Ben 10 reboot, so I can't say, and I haven't seen enough to really say whether or not I like this version of Ben. He definitely seems a lot more goofy than the original version, but no real strong thoughts on it. And Garnet was just Garnet. There was no difference there. But it was fun seeing some of like the references in the background. I think that was the best part of this. Again, the plot was so generic and kind of boring that it's like, you know that this was only done just to show off these characters being in the same thing together. That's the only reason for its existence. So, yeah. Not really much else to say regarding it. But it was fun to see, and all these episodes had some fun stuff to them. The funny thing is, my favorite was probably Boxman Crashes, honestly. Carol Quest was close behind that, though. Though the entire thing about her trying to trick KO into thinking it's a scavenger hunt got a little old pretty quickly, if I'm just completely being honest. I don't know if I would say any of them were outright bad, though. I don't know. But yeah, my favorite would still probably be Boxman Crashes. Either way, tell me your thoughts on these episodes down in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.